following announcement has been paid for by the new Howl Order.
Whether the team is giving us the highest of highs, the bluest of blues, we'll cover it all here on Commander's Nightly News. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, and I'm not going to talk your head off and give some motivational speech like I often can on these Friday episodes. There's no need for that. We know what's at stake. We know the task at hand. We know the opposition. We know what their record is. We know that that doesn't matter. We know what needs to be done. And I'll just say this. This feels sort of like the Bears game in this regard. Not like how we felt after that game or how we felt going into that game. It kind of feels like this is a must-win game. Now, the Bears didn't feel like a must-win game. We just expected to win, and we didn't, right? This feels like a Rivera, you better win this game or ... Look, they're already on the hot seat. They've been on the hot seat. We expect them to be gone at season's end. So losing this game would only further fuel the fire that is fire Ron Rivera and get rid of all of his cronies in the process while you're at it. Okay. So nothing changes there. They win this game and we go, yeah, you were supposed to win this game. There's really no winning here for Ron, but you better win. Like, this feels must win-ish, right? With that said, though, I'm not going to talk to you about that aspect of it. I think the fan base would be 10 times madder than they were when we lost to the Bears if we lose to the Giants. I'm just going to be honest with you. And we know the Bears are worse than the Giants. But it's because it's a family member. It's one we're tired of losing to. It's one that we're tired of losing to them at their place or not beating them. And we tied them last year. We're sick and tired of the Giants, period. Win. They're a bad team. Beat them. But I want to talk about surprises. As a fan of this team, it's hard to be surprised. It's not often that we get a surprise. You know, most teams in the league, they show up expecting a close game and their team wins by 24 points and they're like, whoa, that was a pleasant surprise. When we get surprised, it's usually a bad one, right? The Bears game is a great example. Yeah, we showed up expecting to win and maybe even blow them out. And what did we get? A lackluster performance and destroyed at home by the worst team in football, or one of them at the time. Week 1, we were expecting a destruction of the Arizona Cardinals. Hey, they just got Josh Dobbs 11 days ago. How bad could it be? We almost lost the game. If you want to surprise me, because losing to the Giants won't surprise me. Hell, if the Giants beat us by 2 scores or more, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't see that happening, however, but I wouldn't be shocked by that. Nothing really surprises me with this team anymore, especially if you're talking negative. But if you're talking from a positive perspective, now you got my attention. You want to surprise me in this game? Don't give up a touchdown on the first possession of the game. That would really be a shock to the senses. I'm being honest. You think I'm being tongue-in-cheek here? And I'm being sarcastic. I'm dead ass right now. I fully expect the Giants, who haven't scored a first half touchdown all season long on the offensive side of the football, who haven't scored an offensive touchdown in 13 quarters, I fully expect them to come out on a 9 or 10 play drive to start the game confidently, matriculating the ball down the field. I expect them to find pay dirt on the very first possession of the game. They're going to kill the whole first half, no touchdown offensively narrative, and they're going to kill the no touchdown in 13 quarters narrative. 2 birds, 1 stone, right out of the gate. That's what I'm expecting. You want to surprise me? Don't give up a touchdown on the first drive. I'll even take a field goal. I want a 3 and out. I know I'm not going to get a 3 and out. I want a turnover. I know I'm not getting a turnover. Just don't give up a touchdown. That would really surprise me. Because I'm expecting you to give up a touchdown immediately. You want to know something else? You want to surprise you, the ultimate surprise, and I'm not going to keep you here very long on this lead story. Because I just don't need to. I don't see the need for it. You really want to, I mean, the ultimate surprise of surprises, right? You really want to surprise me? And it's hard to surprise me as a fan because I've seen just about everything with this team. Beat the Giants by 2 scores in this game. The only outcome I can't see is a blowout win for Washington. Winning this game 27-16 feels like a blowout. Winning this game 30-13 is a blowout. I can't see Washington doing that. I don't see Washington doing that. I've already told you, I could see the Giants winning this game, 24-13 because we turned it over 4 times and just looked a mess. Won't be the first time, won't be the last. I could see the Giants eking by in a 20-16, 23-20 victory. That wouldn't shock me. I could see Washington winning in the same manner. 23-20, late field goal. I've got a score prediction that's relatively close. That's probably how it's going to go, at least that in my mind. Close victory, nail biter, down to the last few minutes, seconds of the game. The one outcome I can't see, my eyes just won't allow it to be visualized. My mind can't conceptualize this. The one outcome I can't see is Washington blowing out the Giants. You want to surprise me? Don't give up a touchdown on the opening possession. But if you really, really want to surprise me, blow the Giants out or at least beat them by multiple scores and don't have us sweating at the end of the game. I know, highly unlikely. In other news, normally we hear from Ron on Fridays. I'm not waiting for that press conference. If it happens, cool. He doesn't usually say anything noteworthy on Fridays anyway, so I'm not sticking around waiting for it. Normally that's why some of these videos come out later, because I'm waiting for either the injury report to be released or I'm waiting for a press conference. And so, things come out a little bit later. It pushes back the show. I'm not doing that because I want to get to my podcast today. I am determined to put out a podcast today. So, whether Ronald speaks today or not is not of real consequence anyway, because he doesn't really say anything noteworthy on Fridays. Anywho, so we're going to just get straight into the injury report for both teams, the final one of the week, and take a look at these injuries for both squads. So we start with the good guys. And so a lot of you brought to my attention Kendall Fuller was playing in this game because I talked for at least 2 minutes yesterday on the fact that Kendall Fuller might not go. He missed the first 2 days of practice, and if he can't go, Emmanuel Forbes is going to be thrusted back into the lineup, and we know that could be catastrophic and, not something that I was necessarily looking forward to. Well, Kendall Fuller had an interview at his locker yesterday. That was put up on the team website after I posted my video. So I wasn't privy to that information. And then I saw the tweets from the beat reporters and things of that nature. So shout out to everybody for bringing that to my attention. I then was able to go and track down the video of him talking about, him taking, these days off, just to continue to keep his body right. He's learned his process. And, once you have a process, you stick to it, which we all know that's how you're supposed to do it. And so he says he's playing and he's fine, and I take him at face value. So that's great news. We will be at full strength from an injury standpoint with the guys that we know are able to play. Obviously, we still have Defoe and company out, but they're not going to be back anytime soon. So everybody that played last week essentially is playing this week is what I'm trying to convey to you. So when you look at this injury report, Kendall Fuller going to play, Jonathan Allen going to play, Cam Curl going to play, Christian Holmes was questionable, but he's been cleared to play. We'll see if he's active or not, because I told you they've got a decision to make. They're probably going to lean on the side of giving Christian Holmes back his opportunity. I really think they should continue to take a look at Tariq Castro-Fields personally, but Christian Holmes has shown the ability to be a fiend, so we're going to see if he can come back in and help on special teams. But I thought that last week, Tariq Castro-Fields did a really good job. Chris Paul, available. James Smith-Williams going to play. Montez Sweat going to play. And we already knew Sam Cosmi and Benjamin St-Juste were just fine. So everybody on this injury report has been essentially cleared to play. Most of these guys aren't even listed on the injury report as constructed. So I don't even know if we have a questionable player this week. So even though this is a pretty robust list for us this year, it's really not that bad. All right. It's actually pretty good, when you take a look at it. But, let's get to the Giants side of things, because we know that, they've had a rough go of it, this season with injuries. Evan Neal did not practice today. Now, he'll be listed as questionable. So, my guess is he's going to play, right? Like, they can't afford any more guys to not play. He might not be 100%, but they need him out there. They're running out of bodies at this point. So I expect Evan Neal to be out, but he's going to be compromised. But I expect him to be out there. Matt Pert is out of this game. Wan'Dale Robinson going to play. John Michael Schmitz out of this game. So again, you're missing your backup left tackle. He's out. You're missing your starting right tackle, backup left tackle, your swing tackle, and Matt Pert is out. You're missing your starting center. He's out. You're missing your starting left tackle for the 6th straight game, Andrew Thomas. He's out. They just put their starting right guard on injured reserve. The backup left guard has just been put on IR as well, Josh Izudu, and they don't think he's going to be back this season. You get where I'm going with this. I've talked about this offensive line being banged up all year. They're really, really banged up. Like, if we can't take advantage of these dudes without blitzing, that's a problem for me. Anyway, Saquon Barkley going to play. Cordell Flott going to play. Graham Gano going to play. Mark Glowinski, he's got to play, right? As I mentioned, they don't have any more bodies, so he'll be out there, but he'll be compromised, right? And he hasn't been good when he was fully healthy. He wasn't any good. Adoree Jackson, he's questionable. They aren't sure if he's going to play in this game or not, which is fine because they've got their rookie cornerback Trey Hawkins back, and they're very comfortable starting both rookie corners. They did it to start the season off, and they're not afraid to put those rookies out there and let them play. So they would love to have Adoree Jackson out there. I still think he's going to play, but he's questionable right now. Daniel Jones is questionable. I don't think he's going to play. He still has not been cleared for contact. I don't think he's going to play in this game, and I don't think he's going to play for the foreseeable future, to be honest with you. But that's not our problem. I mean, we do see them in week 11. I think he could be back by then, but I don't think he's going to play this week, next week, or maybe even the week after that. But we'll see. Bottom line is, I don't think he's playing in this game. I'm fully prepared for Tyrod Taylor, as should you. Gary Brightwell, DJ Davidson, and Trey Hawkins are all going to play in this game. So right now, Daniel Jones and Adoree Jackson are your two questionable players on this injury report. Evan Neal is also questionable. Those are the two big ones because Daniel Jones isn't playing in my estimation. So Evan Neal, the starting right tackle, and Adoree Jackson are the two big questionable players for the Giants. Matt Pert, John Michael Schmidt, Andrew Thomas, all out on the offensive line. Everybody else is playing in this game for the most part. So there you have it. So we can go ahead and transition right into the game plan because this is a game that, for all intents and purposes, I've already made this abundantly clear. I don't have to explain this to you. You guys are smart. You understand how this works. part of the reason a lot of fans don't think this team is going to be any good this season and not make the play. You can't lose to teams like Chicago. You can't squander those opportunities. You want to win the division, but you're losing to the Bears. How does that work? Now, again, you shouldn't be playing your best football in October. Right? If you are, that's a problem, because when your best is required at the end of the season, if you've already used it up, you're not. I mean, that's what's happened to us. We always play our best football right around late October into November, and by the time we get to December, we're all out of juice. We're all out of the Monstars juice, whatever that is. That gives them that power. We're all out of it. And we turn back into the team that was one of the laughing stocks of the league at the beginning of the season that couldn't get right. So maybe, just maybe, if I'm being the constant optimist that I am, that Bears hiccup was us just not being the best versions of ourselves at that time, and we're only going to get better. And by the time we get to the end of the season, we're going to look back at that Bears game and go, man, we were one pathetic loser back in, October, early October. But look at us now. Look at us now. All right. The likelihood is that's not going to happen, but I'm going to repeat that sentiment right now. If you want to make the playoffs, you can't lose to the Giants. As a matter of fact, you have to sweep the Giants. Dallas is going to do it. Philadelphia is going to do it. They're 1-5 for a reason. Everybody else is taking advantage of a bad Giants football team. It's our turn to do the same. Again, the Giants season is dead, right? But did you check the body? Let's get into the keys to the game and how Washington can do exactly that. Check the body and make sure that there's no pulse or a heartbeat. You start with Washington's offense. Start fast, mash the gas, okay? As the Jets used the slogan, all gas, no brakes, that's what we need to be in this game from the word go. Opening kickoff, mash the gas, don't take your foot off of it, start fast, start furious, and finish fast and finish furious, and all of that in between, right? The Giants, much like the Bears, aren't a good football team. And the more you allow a bad football team to hang around, the more confidence they gain. See last week's game against the Bills. You don't put a bad team away early, they're going to think they can win. And when they think they can win, they already think they can beat us because they've beaten us. So they already are coming in with that on their brains. Excuse me. They already feel like, oh, it's Washington. We know we can beat them. So we have to work 2 times as hard to get that out of their heads. The best way to do that is to start fast. I want to treat them like they're the Philadelphia Eagles. We need to come out firing on all cylinders. First possession, let them have it. Second possession, let them have it. And keep our foots on their necks the entire game. That would be nice. I think that is what is required if you want to win this game. Next key to victory offensively, beat man coverage. We've talked about it all week. It's been a point of emphasis. The players have talked about it. We saw what the Falcons did to us. This is a copycat league. First of all, it doesn't matter what the Falcons did. This is what the Giants do. They play man coverage behind aggressive blitzes by Wink Martindale, their defensive coordinator. It's what they do. So regardless of what the Falcons did a week ago, he was going to do that anyway. But watching the Falcons devour our receivers, cover them like a blanket the entire second half, and our guys look like they had never seen man coverage before, we're going to see a steady diet of it with aggressive blitzes in front of it. We have to beat man coverage. It's very simple. If we can't beat man coverage, then what the hell are these receivers that we have doing anyway? How good are they anyway? We sit here and we talk about how good these guys are. If you can't beat man coverage, you're not very good. Simple as that. Beat man coverage. Get open for your quarterback. Present a target that he can get the football to. Present a friendly target to your quarterback and give him options. We know Sam's not afraid to let it rip. If they're in the throw he doesn't think he can make, give him an opportunity though. Beat man coverage. Washington offense key number 3. Protect Sam Howell and The Rock. It is no secret they are going to blitz. It is no secret that the Giants defensive front is actually really good. And we haven't played really good defensive fronts the last 2 weeks. And so I think there's this false sense of, oh, the line is getting better and they're not as bad. I've been telling you they're not as bad as you guys have made them out to be all season long. No one wanted to listen to me. But now all of a sudden, they've played a little bit better the last couple of weeks. You're seeing all these PFF ratings and you're starting to lose your minds. And, oh no, it's Sam's fault. That's why these sacks are happening. And so I want to make sure you understand that this line still has deficiencies and they still have to be better. But protecting Sam Howell is a team effort. It starts with the offensive coordinator. It goes to the offensive line. And I think most importantly, Sam has to protect Sam. At the end of the day, tight ends, backs, receivers, everybody's all in on protecting Sam Howell. He's got to do his part though. Everybody else can do their job. And if Sam doesn't like what he sees and decides to hold on to the ball and takes a sack, that's on him, right? We have to protect Sam as a whole, and that includes Sam Howell himself. But this Giants team, despite the lack of production from a sack standpoint, they can get after the quarterback. We know our offensive line is not great. They're not magically fixed. We better protect Sam. We better get the ball out of his hands quickly. He has to be decisive. EB has to draw it up to where that ball isn't sitting in his hands. And if you're going to have him back there patting the football, 7-step drop, you better max protect. And this goes without saying. I'll just mention it briefly. I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. Protect the Rock. The team that makes the least amount of mistakes in this game is probably going to win. Simple as that. And the final key to victory offensively, convert on third downs and in the red zone. I can't begin to explain to you how important this is on a weekly basis. This is just as important as don't turn the football over, especially with the way we conduct offense. The way we conduct our business on the offensive side of the football is we have a very, very tight schedule type of offense. You need 3 on first down. You need another 4 on second down, 3rd and 3. You need to convert 3rd and 3. Right? That's how our offense works. It's not often that on first down, we get a first down on first down. It's not often that on second down, we get a first down on second down. Generally, we get to third down and we need to convert that third down. It'd be nice to get some first downs on first down or second down first downs. But again, once we get to third down, we have to convert them. Okay? And I can't explain this any further than I already have multiple times this season. Red zone efficiency is down around the league. It's not for us. We're taking care of business in the red zone. Let's continue to do that. You get in the red zone, put up 7s, not 3s. You know my mantra. You know my motto. Field goals don't win games. Touchdowns do. You want to win. You want to be the team that hasn't scored the ball very often this season, hasn't put it in the end zone almost at all this season. Touchdowns are their kryptonite. The more of those you score, the more likely it is you're going to beat them. The less of them you score, the more likely it is they're going to be in the game with a chance to win. You want the Giants to have a chance to beat us? Don't score touchdowns. Kick field goals. That's putting them right in their comfort zone, and that's giving them hope that they can steal this even if they don't score a touchdown. They kick 5 field goals, they might be able to beat you, right? You score 3 touchdowns, they're going to be in some trouble. Because they don't score touchdowns. So just score touchdowns in the red zone. And it's okay to score outside of the red zone. We did it last week. We've done it throughout the season. It's okay to score outside of the red zone as well. We've done that too. So just continue to score. Continue to be what you've been on the road this season. We've been a much better road team than a home team this season, okay? We've been really prolific on the offensive side of the football on the road. Continue to do that, and you shouldn't have any problems with this Giants football team. Going over to the defensive side of the football, first key defensively for Washington, destroy a depleted Giants offensive line. And King of the North wrote a great comment, and essentially I'll sum it up for you. He's like, I'm worried about this game because I don't want Jack Del Rio looking at this Giants offensive line that's beat up and thinking that we should just be able to dominate with our front four, and him reverting back to his old ways and not bringing pressure and allowing the Giants to carve us up because they'll go max protect when they want to throw it down the field, and then our guys won't get there fast enough, and we won't be able to stop them. You're not wrong, but here's my rebuttal to that. And I expect Jack to do this from the jump. Before you even think about blitzing, let's see what the front four can do first against this defensive line. That's how I would approach things. Because if no defensive coordinator wants to blitz, unless you're Wink Martindale, you want to blitz, all right? Unless you're Todd Bowles, you want to blitz, okay? But for most defensive coordinators, they much rather, rush 4 and play coverage with 7 behind it, right? That's what Jack wants to do. We know that. And I'm going to give him the green light at the beginning of this game to do exactly that. Let's see what the front four can do against a depleted Giants. We know that they're going to come out, and the first 15 that they script is going to be specifically with targeting our defensive line, keeping them off balance in mind. And that's why I think they're going to score on the opening possession. Same thing with us. Our first 15 scripted is usually chef's kiss. How about what happens thereafter? We've got to be better in that department. But if it doesn't work initially, and this is the problem I have with Jack, is he doesn't usually react the fastest when something's not working. It usually takes him a bit of a while to figure out, you know what? Maybe we should go to the Cinco package, or maybe we should start to heat up Tyrod Taylor. He usually takes a little while before he makes the adjustment. Like the Bears game, for instance. He didn't blitz until the second half of that game, right? And then you saw that they didn't score a single point until late in the fourth quarter, right? Like, it's not rocket science, but sometimes these guys make it a lot more complicated than it needs to be. If it doesn't work early on, initially, then you just need to go to plan B. But I want to see, look, you got 4 first round picks across that defensive line. I ain't trying to hear no excuses this week. This Giants line is as bad as we're going to see all season long. We talk about how many sacks we've given up. They were in front of us up until last week. We need to, and the only reason they're not is because Tyrod Taylor came into the line. We need to dominate. And it doesn't always result in sacks. Tyrod Taylor needs to feel us. He needs to know that there's constant pressure and that his clock has to be sped up. And you might get a mistake or two out of him. You might get Tyrod trying to do too much and you force a fumble. He doesn't see a guy coming because he's eluding this guy and the ball's out. We need to dominate a depleted Giants offensive line. In the run game too. No Saquan Barkley. Speaking of which, next key to the game defensively, limit Saquon Barkley. Just like we did last week with Bijan Robinson, just like we did 2 weeks prior to that against DeAndre Swift, he should be the focal point of our defensive game plan. Limiting him, not giving up explosives to him. Look, they've got guys that can stretch the field vertically, and if you're not careful, they can get you. But I'd much rather have Tyrod Taylor have to throw it 35, 40 yards down the field in the air and have a guy make a play than to just hand it off and let Saquon Barkley, or throw it out of the backfield to Saquon Barkley and he's able to do the rest. Limit him. The best way to stop a guy like Saquon is to get him before he starts going. Again, win up front. Next key defensively for Washington, don't let Tyrod's legs be a factor in this game. We know he's a different type of athlete. Like, he's more shifty than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is more of a straight line speed guy. He's not going to make anybody miss. He's not going to dart in and out of the pocket, dodge a defender. That's not him, right? His strength is when he runs read option, you crash down on the back and he pulls it and he's got a straight path. He can run. He's faster than people think. That's not Tyrod Taylor. His best days and his wheels being at their fastest are behind him, but he's still fast enough to hurt you, and he's very quick still. All right. His ability to be sort of a jitterbug back there. We saw it last week against Buffalo. Dipping in and out of the pocket, setting up guys to get blocked so he can extend or get out and run. He's very decisive in his decision making. Don't let Tyrod Taylor and his legs be a problem. He's not Josh Allen. And even if he gets you on a run or two on third down, don't stop rushing him. Okay? We can't go into safe mode like we did against Josh Allen and just don't rush because you're scared Tyrod Taylor's going to break contain. Like, let's get after this dude. Let's collapse the pocket. Let's keep outside contain. They're going to run boots. Casey Tuhill was phenomenal, staying at home, chasing down the backside. Let's be disciplined. Let's not let Tyrod Taylor's legs be an influence in this game. And then finally, last key defensively for Washington, keep the Giants out of the end zone. I mean, that's the easiest way to win this game. They haven't been scoring touchdowns this season. They haven't scored a touchdown in what's equivalent to 3 whole games offensively. All right. Let's not beat around the bush. You all right? This can't be the game that they erupt for 3 touchdowns offensively. But as we all know, it's probably going to be the game that they erupt for 3 touchdowns offensively. Who are we kidding, right? I mean, if you want to beat the Giants, keep them out of the end zone. That's as simple as it gets. I can't be any more clear than that. Keep them out of the end zone. They don't score points. They're dead last in the NFL in points scored this season. Keep them out of the end zone. Everybody else is doing it. Again, I can't harp on that anymore because we're not everybody else. Clearly, everybody else finds ways to get shit done that we just seem to not be able to do. Everybody else is keeping the Giants out of the end zone. Watch us be the one to allow them in the end zone. And not once, but at least twice. Okay? With that said, let's get to my final outcome. Look, I know this is a bad Giants team, and I know it's family business. And I know that this is not going to be a blowout. I've already wrapped my brain around it. I know this. I just want to win, man. The Giants season is dead, right? But did you check the body? We have to do that on Sunday. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be, stress-free. It never is with this team. When are you guys going to learn out there? Every week they give me a heart attack. You should be prepared. Have your heart medication, very close by. Okay? Tell your wife, your girlfriend, or whomever, hey, the defibrillator's up in the closet on the top shelf. If I'm on the ground and I'm not moving, just give it a couple of decibels and shock me once and I'll be back. You know the routine. Well, this game isn't going to be any different. All right. We'll be up 21-10. We'll feel like we're cruising, right? They'll score in the opening possession, as I've mentioned already, a touchdown. And then we'll answer and we'll score. We'll be up 17. We'll be up 14-7 at the half. We'll score a touchdown because the Giants will have the opening kickoff because we'll win the toss and we'll defer. And the Giants will kick a field goal, or we'll have a touchdown to start the second half, and we'll feel like, oh, we're about to open this thing up. Remember Daron Payne said, hey, we about to open this thing up. No, we're not. We didn't open it up against the Falcons, and we're not opening it up against the Giants either. It's 21-7. You're feeling good. The Giants get a field goal. It's 21-10. And then we have our opportunities to run away and hide, and just like we did against Atlanta, offense goes stale. We don't take advantage of the opportunities that have been presented to us. And in the fourth quarter, Tyrod Taylor takes them down for another touchdown drive. Their second of the game. Oh my God, they've scored 2 touchdowns in a game. Oh my goodness, it's going to snow. They're going to go for 2 because it's an 11-point game. They're going to look to cut it to 3. And we keep them out of the end zone on the 2-point conversion. Hence, the final score is 21-16. Now, the game does not end without strife, of course. They're going to get the football back again with a chance to beat us. They're going to start driving, and we're going to slam the door shut finally right around the 27-yard line and win the game 21-16. So yes, you will have another heart attack, but we will win. What's your score and more? Leave it down in the comment section. Can't wait to read your responses. I would love to be surprised, but I know I'm not going to. So I'm not even going to set myself up for disappointment. What I am looking forward to is a victory. Please don't piss me off, okay? Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Commanders Nightly News. You know what it is. Post up. Take command. You know where to find me on Sunday when the game meets its conclusion, whether good, bad, or indifferent, because we have tied these bastards before. You know where to find me. Anyway, that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T. I look forward to seeing you guys after a victory on Sunday against the Giants. Until then, you guys take care, have a good one, and you know the routine. You know my steez. Let's roll these boys.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hole. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone. The 35, the 30, the 20.